There's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Said thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. First and foremost, I would like to take all of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash, double honors to the apostles, and elders of Nelson, real well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole light to all you brothers out there pushing the word in truth and sincerity. So I want to tell you brothers, stay strong, pushing into this quick lesson. And I came across this article, which this is new information that came out regarding Australian troops, which were out there in the Middle East, specifically Afghanistan, and a few Edomite whistleblowers, they came out and they spoke out against the atrocities that these Australian troops were committing against the civilians, against the prisoners. So these Australian warrior troops were out there assassinating and murdering people, just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it, just straight killing them. And that shows you, man, that Esau's the goddamn devil. Or Esau, he'll kill with no regard, with no purpose, with no emotion. That's an Edomite for you. Alright? But anyways, the article says, cycles fueled by bloodlust, Australian special forces tortured and executed prisoners in Afghanistan. And I'm just going to read a little bit of the article. I'm not going to go, too deep into it. But I'm going to read a few key important parts that came out. Oh, and regarding the whistleblowers, right, that goes back to the prophecy, they shall make the tongue to fall upon themselves. So you have these Edomite whistleblowers that even within themselves, even within Edomites, they don't even fuck with other Edomites that do this type of shit, man. So that goes to show you that that there's levels to this shit, man. There's Edomites that are way more demonic than other Edomites. But it says a disturbing new report blows lid on the shameful conduct of Australian Special Forces soldiers in Afghanistan, accusing them of waging campaign of torture and murder across the war-torn country and hiding the evidence. So not only were these devils committing these acts, these criminal acts, these acts of war, right, but they were trying to hide the evidence. So I guess their superiors or people underneath them wouldn't find the wicked shit that they were doing, right? It says when Australia's elite SAS soldiers would raid villages in Afghanistan, they brought terror and death with them. A report seen by a Melbourne newspaper, the alleges the special forces would take the men and the boys to these guest houses and interrogate them, meaning tie them up and torture them. The report states. So not only were these devils grabbing up grown men, but they were grabbing up boys. Okay, you gotta remember these devils, they were going to different villages right out there in Afghanistan, and they would grab civilians, and they would tie them up, they would torture them, and eventually they would kill them. They would put a bullet in their head, and these were civilians. These were non-threatening people without no weapons, but they would question them because they thought they had connections with the Taliban, which they didn't. Okay. But it says by the time the SAS units left, the men and boys would be found dead, shot in the head, sometimes blindfolded, and throats slit. These are corroborated accounts, it continues, comparing the alleged war crimes to the My Lai massacre of the Vietnam War and to the U.S. mistreatment of detainees in Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison. I'm going to skip down. It says the report is based on interviews with soldiers and whistleblowers who told Convoy some grisly tales of competition, killing, and bloodlust. So these devils, it was a competition to them. Who can get more bodies, who can kill more people. It didn't matter if it was civilians, old men, women, children. So these devils, these Australian troops, they were going out there and killing anything and anybody that had a pulse. You see, and that's why I read the scripture right here. Salaki, not this one. I read the scripture, Ezekiel 35 verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Said thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Exactly. So since these devils love blood, they have lust for blood. They lust for killing and murdering, right? So guess what? Since you devils like to pursue blood, guess what? Blood shall fall upon your own head. So the Most High is going to give us the power to do unto these devils as what they did unto the whole world, especially our people, man. You got to remember, these devils put us in slavery. They came and they conquered us, the so-called Latin tribes, the indigenous people, right? They grabbed our people from the west coast of Africa, They threw them in slavery boats. They fed our children to alligators, crocodiles. They burned us at the stake while we were still alive. They fed us to wild. Man, these devils have so many evil shit that they did to us, man. So these devils got to pay for all of that blood shit that they did. So guess what? Now that you devils like doing that shit, and you get off to killing people, murdering people, so like, because killing and murdering is two different things. But these devils, since you devils get off on murdering people, and especially the Lord's people, guess what? It's gonna fall upon your own head. And guess what? The Most High is gonna give us the ability, the power to do to you devils as what you did unto us. All right, and that's called recompense. Hey, remember, it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense them that trouble you. So you devils have troubled us damn near from the beginning of time. All right, so you devils trust and believe, man. Blood is coming upon you, devils. Death is coming to you, all you Edomites. All right, but like I said right here, it was a competition to these devils, man. Competition, killing, and bloodlust. It says, in one instance, 2 14-year-old boys suspected of being Taliban sympathizers had their throats slit. The bodies were bagged and thrown into a nearby river. In others, unarmed Afghans were shot in the backs as they ran away. So these are civilians that were being questioned, that were trying to run away because they were afraid, because you have these invaders, which that's what they are. These Edomites that went to Afghanistan, to the Middle East, that's called invasion. These devils, they're invaders. You know, so these people are afraid, naturally so. You know, that's why they're fighting back, because these devils are out there trying to push their own agenda. They're trying to take the territory of those people where they live at. Though you gotta remember, those are their homes. And this is the history of Esau, is to go into other people's countries, into other people's domain, their homes, and kill them, murder them, rape them, take everything from, for themselves, the resources, the goods, the land. That's what they've always done. They did it to our people. They did it to the tribe of Gad, to the tribe of Issachar. They did it especially to the tribe of Gad, or the tribe of Reuben. They killed them, they murdered them, Salakia, and they took everything away from them. It says right here, soldiers involved in these crimes alleged covered them up and expected their comrades to keep quiet. Meanwhile, the perpetrators gloated about the killing. So these devils got that pride, man. They got that pride, I killed, so many people, so many civilians. All right, these devils were gloating about that. Okay. Soldiers would do bad stuff to fit in. It becomes part of the banter. One witness recalled. Another stated, guys just had this bloodlust, psychos, absolutely psychos, and we bred them. So these dudes weren't, they're not right in the head. They'll kill you without hesitation, without any regard. Even though you're a civilian, they don't give a fuck. That's why you gotta beware for these Edomites, man. Do not trust an Edomite. It says, despite the gruesome details, now check this out. Despite the gruesome details revealed in the report, the Australian operators were envious of their British and American counterparts. One informant told Crown Poets, whatever we do, though, I can tell you the Brits and the U.S. are far, far worse. Ooh, I watched our young guys stand by and hero worship what they were doing, salivating at how the U.S. were torturing people, the informant said. So these Aussie troops, they're not even as bad as what the Brit Edomites and the American Edomite troops were doing. So he's saying that the British Edomite troops and the American Edomite troops were far, far worse than the Aussie troops, man, than the Edomite Aussie troops. So that goes to show you that America is the worst, man. All right, America is the worst when it comes to sending troops to another place, because the main agenda is to murder, rape, rob. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get this scripture. John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. So the thief, that's Esau. And that's what they do. They're there to steal shit. They're there to murder and to destroy. Now, right here it says killed. Like I said, there's a difference between killing and murder. All right, to murder someone is to how can I say it? Is to murder someone unjustly, without a purpose, without a reason. Okay, just for the fuck of it. That's what murder is. Okay, you have no reason to murder someone. You just do it because you're cold-blooded. Okay, that's what murder is. But to kill someone is to do it you're justified in doing. All right, that's the difference between murder and killing. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say someone murders one of your loved ones, right? He'll, slit your loved one's throat, then burn the body, and then think try to hide the body, right? But then he gets caught. So guess what? Now the family of that particular person that got murdered, they have the right to do the same thing to that individual. They have the right to kill the individual. Now that's not murder. That's kill. Okay. So that's the difference between murder and killing. So once again, the thief coming not before to steal and to kill, which the word should be murder, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So, man, like the article said, the U.S. and the Brit Edomite troops, those are far, far worse than the Aussie Edomite troops. So that goes to show you, man, Esau ain't shit, man. Esau killed anything and anybody. Just like that movie Natural Born Killers, which really, the name of the movie should be Natural Born Murderers. Because that's what they are, man. They're natural born murderers without no regard, without hesitation. Like the article says in the top, they got that bloodlust. And I read, since you love blood, man, blood shall pursue thee. And the other scripture, it says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, blood for blood, a life for a life. So guess what? Everything that you devils did is going to come back on you twofold. It's going to be way worse than what you devils did, to the whole planet, especially the Lord's people. All right. Let me see. Let me get the last scripture. Wait a minute. Did I finish? Let me see if I finished over here. Okay, yeah. Let me get the last scripture real quick, which this is there's a book of St. John chapter 8 verse 44, and it says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Exactly. So this is talking about Cain, which later came back in the reincarnation as Esau. And then of course the children of Esau, which are the Edomites, they have the same spirit. They have the same spirit as Cain, of being a murderer. These people, they love murdering, man. They love killing. Wherever they go, they bring death with them. Okay, so he was a murderer. Now that's the correct word right there, a murderer. Okay, Esau's not a killer, he's a murderer. Like I said, to kill someone is to do it, you're justified in killing someone because they're wicked, they're evil, they've been murdering people. You have the right to kill them. But a murder, on the other hand, like I said, is to do it unjustified. You're unjust. What's the word? You're unjustifiable. You do it without a reason, without a purpose. You just do it because you're heartless, you're soulless, right? And that's an Edomite. They're heartless, they're soulless. So once again, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth. As a matter of fact, let me get the last scripture. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just go ahead and read Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red. Now this represents Esau. Going back to how Esau came out, red, and it says, and power was given to him that sat there to take peace from the earth, and they that sat, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So this is the blessing going back to Esau. That's why these Edomites, they go around with that weapon, and they're killing, civilians. They're killing innocent people. And there's plenty of videos out there on the internet which you could find of these devils out, going out and about to different villages out there in the Middle East and just straight, blasting people, man, blasting civilians for no reason, for no purpose, just because they didn't get the answer that they wanted. Because here it is, they'll torture them, they're interrogating them, right? And let's say this civilian doesn't give them the right answer that they want to hear, which this civilian might not even know, where the fucking Taliban is at. But since Esau didn't hear the right answer, they're gonna put a bullet on this little 12-year-old boy or little 14-year-old boy, whatever, man. Man, that's why the whole world hates Esau. There's a reason why people hate you fucking devils, man. Anyways, with that, I'm going to say call Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bashem Kakadash. Till next time, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Batazam, say Shalom.